Oh, whoa, what's this? New Shadowverse expansion announced. I was gonna do a custom card weekly video today, but that's gonna have to be pushed back to tomorrow because I have to talk about this, right? Omen of the 10. Let the trials begin in Shadowverse's 10th card set. Omen of the 10, 114 cards, beginning with 97 at the end of September and an additional 17 with the mini expansion in the second half of November. These 10 boyos are Shadowverse original characters, which I think is actually quite refreshing considering the last expansion, Brigade of the Sky, was based on Grand Blue Fantasy, so characters from a completely separate IP. And I love that Shadowverse is getting its own original lore here. Hopefully the story will take on a life of its own. And I think that's going to be the case because in the trailer, and I'll link to the trailer in the description, what they showed is Sunia for a split second. So I think that these characters may just interact with the story mode favorites we all know and love, like our boys Rowan and Urias, and also the rest of them that are less important. And they even have their own lore already. I'll link to the lore page in the description as well. But enough about the lore, let's talk about the cards. And there have been 2 cards already announced. First up, we have Mierbane here, Omen of 1. 6.44 neutral legendary fanfare. If there are no duplicate cards in your deck, excluding Mierbane, Omen of 1, give your leader the following effect at the end of your turn. If only one allied follower is in play, give +2/+2 to a random allied follower, deal 2 damage to a random enemy follower, and deal 2 damage to the enemy leader. This effect is not stackable. And last, for the rest of the match. It's interesting, right? It's gonna be the first card in Shadowverse that promotes Highlander, Singleton, no duplicates, kind of like a Reno Jackson if you're familiar in Hearthstone. The good news is that it's not constrained to its own effect here. You can run multiples of Mierbane, Omen of 1, which is good. Makes the whole building around this guy conceit more consistent. The whole thing about Highlander, though, in Shadowverse is that it's kind of difficult to make work, I feel like, especially in rotation. Because there aren't a lot of good draws, there aren't a lot of good tutors, and your deck is 40 cards big. So it's going to be really hard to get consistency out of your deck. I think in Unlimited, this might perform a little better. Because there are more redundant effects, cards that do similar things but came out in different expansions. They're all available in Unlimited, so this might be more of a thing there. And I also think that the effect itself, it's hit or miss depending on what class you play, right? Like, it's the condition that there's only one allied follower in play, like there has to be only one in play, makes it sort of restrictive in terms of you can't really run it in Forcecraft or Swordcraft because they're all about flooding the board, right? Maybe more in Dragoncraft or classes like that. And also, is the effect even worth it? You get a beat stick, you deal 2 damage to a random enemy follower, which isn't particularly good if they're going wide, nor is it particularly good if they're going very tall. Getting a huge beat stick on your side is a good thing, but that can be removed. Again, if it's consistently threat after threat after threat, this can be quite annoying. So it'll be interesting to see how you build your deck to completely focus around Mierbane. And the dealing 2 damage to the enemy leader thing, it could stack up to a lot of damage over time, but again, you can't really run consistent finishers to deal the finishing damage, so I'm skeptical, but I really do like the design of this because it's encouraging a deck building challenge out of its players. So I prefer this a lot to cards that just, flood the board with stats and storm. So I think this is cool design-wise, and it asks something of the player to be able to make it work. But we'll have to see about its effectiveness. I'm cautiously optimistic, but I'm also definitely having my reservations, especially since not only is it hard to get a lot of draw effects, but it's hard to get a lot of draw effects consistently if you can only run one of each, right? So we'll see where it goes from here. One thing I am questioning is the no duplicate cards in your deck clause. Does that mean currently in your deck or what you started with? Because if it's currently in your deck, maybe you can sort of manipulate it, maybe run some 2-ofs of some really, really key cards that you're definitely going to play before Mierbane, for example. Is that something you can do with this card? If that's the case, this card becomes even more interesting because there's another layer of depth to the complexity of how you build your deck with this. So I'm definitely going to try and experiment with it, and I'm excited to see where people take it. Other than Mierbane, there also has been one more card revealed here, Draconic Sniper. Deep within the thickest clouds at the pinnacle of the vaulted sky, my companion and I make our home. From that vantage, untouchable by mortal hands, we take aim and never miss our target. It's a pretty dramatic text for a 4.22 Bronze Dragoncraft follower. The effect is that it can't be attacked, and whenever an enemy follower attacks your leader, deal 2 damage to that follower, then remove this effect. It's kind of like a one-off man-eating mangrove. I'm very doubtful of this card's effectiveness in Constructed, considering it's a 2-2 stat line for 4 play point, which is very low. It might be more effective in Arena, I feel like, because the can't be attacked can often be pretty impactful in Arena, because you can't always get your removal consistently in Arena, And this also has the ability to ping off a small thing. Like, what if you Oracle into this, right? Could be a thing then. But I think overall it's a pretty card. And there you have it. Those are the 2 cards revealed so far. Let me know what you think about them in the comments down below. And let me know what you think about the Omen of the 10 in general and Shadowverse getting its own original characters. And what class do you think each of the Omens belongs to? Again, I'll link the trailer, the lore page, and this card page in the description down below so you can check it out for yourself. I have my own theory. I think, well, we know he's neutral. Portalcraft, Shadowcraft, Dragoncraft, Havencraft, Forestcraft, Bloodcraft, Swordcraft, Runecraft, and the neutral again, the Dark to Bane's light here. Anyway, that's it for this video. Like it if you did, don't if you didn't. Subscribe for more Shadowverse content in the very near future. And of course, thank you to my wonderful patrons, patreon.com/Ignidius. If you'd like to support the channel as well, I'd highly appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.